Hi, self-awareness, whose truth? I am your host, Rose, and this is May the 25th, 2018. And this is going to be a short part one of why we do what we do or don't. And I was led to do this particular topic because people do not realize how we are so conditioned and programmed. And we are like robots, just like we do what the masses do. Monkey see, monkey do. But I had to think about why people were so conditioned and programmed. So the insert that I'm putting on at the end of this short presentation will help you get a broader and a better inner and understanding of what's really going on. But I just want to give you a few of things that we do and how conditioned that the system got us programmed. Before I get into that, I just want to let everyone know that the 2,000, 1,500 outfit contest, the deadline is extended until the end of September. I got a lot of emails and calls that they didn't have enough time to get the DVD out and watch it and to do the essay. But you can go on the website and get more information about the contest. Thank you. So now I want to talk about why we do what we do or don't do. And the first thing I want to talk about was after my lawsuit was settled, and I didn't go to pick up the check. The secretary called me twice and left a message that the check was ready for pickup. I didn't respond back, so a week later, she called again, asking me, was I okay? She left the message again. So she called back the third time and was surprised I did pick up. And she like, this check been here for 2 months and you haven't come to get it. She say, most people would have been there before the check was ready so they can go shopping. So she asked me, is there anything you want to buy? I said, no, I don't really need anything. I have everything that, I need. She couldn't understand that because we've been so conditioned. You get some extra money, run and shop. And this is what all of these so-called holidays are created for. Shop, 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 shop. And it took almost 3 months. I finally went and got the check. But I didn't deposit it. That was another problem. So the lawyer secretary called me and said, Miss Whaley, you have to deposit the check because the lawyer have to balance his checkbook. So that made me, okay, I need to do this. And at that particular time, my grandson needed $5,000 to invest into his project for his career to be independent and make his own money. So I went And I did get the check, but I still didn't deposit it right away. And that's when they still had a problem with me. But because my grandson needed the money, I finally did it. So this is what I'm talking about, the programming. And nobody knew I had a large amount of money. I gave away most of it, but I didn't really bought anything that I did not really need, just because the money was there. So this is another thing we have to think about, how we are so conditioned and programmed. Now, this other situation, as you know, I used to set up on Fordham Road promoting my 5 empowering books. And the new Why Part 2 is ready. So you can order it from me through Amazon. Now, this particular lady came at the table, and then she was telling me it was so-called Christmas, that she wanted to buy a gift for 2 of her friends, and that she was going to buy a cellular phone. So she saw the information that I was giving out, how the radiation, the cellular phone is bad for people. And she told me she knew it. That's why she stopped using her cellular phone. But she was buying 2 phones for her so-called friends. I am so happy I don't have those kind of friends. And, well, you know, I never bought a cellular phone. I don't need one. And this is what the programming is all about. Monkey see, monkey do. And another incident with this person that I know very well, and she travels 2 to 3 times a year out of the country. But she told me she can't afford to eat healthy organic food because it was too expensive. Now, put common sense with that. But years later, she had a health crisis. Now she's focused on eating a little better. But this is what I'm saying, the program, we so caught up in competing, comparing, covering up, running away from the shadow side of ourselves. And we do everything that we want to do, but not what we need to do, special for your well-being. We live in this body. It's the living temple. We are responsible to take care of it. Okay, now as far as the programming, I told you on a few shows back in the day, I stopped taking mammograms and pap smear for about 20 years now. And I am more healthy than I ever been in my life. And this whole thing, how they control us with sex, I chose to give it up in 2008. The more I learned and studied how sex on the low vibration are used to keep us conditioned and programmed for mind control. So, this is something you need to really do your deep research on. They got us afraid of aging. In reality, there's no such thing. But the whole conditioning is about looking old. I will be 70 in 2 years. I don't have no wrinkles. I have a lot more energy now than when I was 20. In my 20s, I had a list in my book, the book without a name. I list almost 20 illness I had during that time. I have nothing wrong with me now. So this is why I want to advise you. The clip that I'm going to put on is going to explain how we are so conditioned and programmed to do what the programmers want us to do and not what we need to do. And there's plenty of good clips, different people of all culture breaking it down and telling you the same thing. And one of the things that I recommended on my show years ago, this book, The Art of Seduction. It covers it on every level, how mind control is done in the religion, and religion is one of the main mind control. And the politics, because your voting do not really mean anything. But we can take back this power because we have it. And the only way they can have this kind of control, because we give consent to it. We participated in all of this programming, and that's why it still continues. So I want you to take your time and pay attention to this clip. It's really 24 minutes long, but I'm only showing you 12 minutes of the first part, but you can go on the website and check out this clip, Starseed and Royal Survivor, How to Recognize Implants and Topics. It's time to take back your power. Thank you. The Creator in me greets the Creator in you. Watch the clip.
Many people on the planet are having a more difficult time surviving and staying balanced and centered than others. There are several individual reasons for this. However, there are some patterns that are apparent as to why some people are targeted over others for implants or tags. It is important to have the information on this in order to have the power to recognize and get rid of mind control implants and tags that may exist within yourself, as well as in others around you. What is an implant? An implant is a mind control device planted in the physical or etheric body of a person that allows for triggering emotions, thoughts, words, and actions. Until a person begins to be aware of what is happening with mind control, most of the time the only clues that people have are loss of memory of doing or saying something that is not typical. Sometimes there could be an unexplained loss of time or a blackout. Everyone incarnated on the planet is susceptible to this programming at one level or another. There are more complicated levels of implants that are sometimes put into those who are awakening from the programming in an effort to keep them asleep. There are also extra implants put into people that have purer royal bloodlines in their DNA genealogy that are of interest to the Illuminati. Starseeds are targets because they came here to help planet Earth at this time free herself from negativity. Many of these implants are done at birth. Others are done through abductions. An implant is a mind control device planted in the physical or etheric body of a person that allows for triggering emotions, thoughts, words, and actions. Until a person begins to be aware of what is happening with mind control, most of the time the only clues that people have are loss of memory of doing or saying something that is not typical. Sometimes there could be an unexplained loss of time or a blackout. Everyone incarnated on the planet is susceptible to this programming at one level or another. Types of implants. There are 3 basic types of implants that I am aware of. There are probably more, but I can only share what I am familiar with at this time. They are the brain, physical implants, and etheric implants. Everyone on the planet that is an incarnated human has at least one type of implant in their body. Implants are used in mind control to keep the human population subservient and obedient. The brain barrier of the 2 hemispheres is the one implant everyone has, and is inside of the corpus callosum. The mind control programming forces most people into living from the left side of their brain more than the right. Living from the left side makes a person rely on logical outside information from books, schooling, and anything else related to programming. Living from the right side means being connected to the wisdom within you and includes creativity, intuition, and love-based emotions like compassion and empathy. Not to be stereotypical, but the programming in males has purposely made them feel like they should be strong and macho from the left or thinking side of the brain. Women tend to be more emotional and feeling from the right side of the brain. Things that have helped to balance the 2 are based in creativity and love, like the arts and healthy relationships. There is a lot of evidence these days of more and more people coming into a balance and harmony naturally. The pineal gland is the gateway to the astral realm and is usually a place that can be implanted as well, as this is where visions and ideas can get sent to a person. Astral travelers are almost always tagged, like the game of chase where they say tag, you're it, and I will explain tags further in a bit. By exiting the body through the pineal gland, a person is basically yelling I'm here, and I want to play. While this is not always a bad thing, the problem is that most people do not have a clue how they can get a tag just from astral traveling, which must then be dealt with. Physical implants are inserted into the physical body. There are various forms of these. The Greys have implanted chips into certain people. These can be tracking devices and trigger implants. Since there is mind wipe technology available, there is opportunity for implants to be inserted by anyone with this technology and the person would not remember anything. Chemtrails have nanoparticles that may either have implants in them or trigger existing implants, and these are taken into the lungs and then into the bloodstream. Water and food have chemicals and nanoparticles that can serve the same purpose. Etheric implants are in the etheric energy body and can be triggered as well. They can make diseases manifest in the physical or can trigger emotions that create energy that can get stuck and then manifests as pain or disease. Some etheric implants are called tags, and can function as a red flag, a mind control device, or can cause physical pain or disease in the body. What is a tag? The majority of the population is implanted because of the inherent modifications to the human body done by the Anunnaki, as well as the insertion of other implants that are a part of keeping the human population compliant with the program. A tag is an energetic implant from the astral realm where a person is marked like cattle. There is a percentage of the population that gets tagged from an early age just because of who they are. For those who are starseeds or if you have a royal bloodline that is more conductive to the Illuminati DNA match, you probably have been tagged for the government to keep an eye on. Tags are like having a flag flying around that says, I could cause your astral matrix a big problem. Another tag can be considered a mark of the beast, but with an opposite definition of what has been defined in religion. Religion makes it sound like you will be tagged by Satan if you do not follow religion, but the truth is that following religion will provide you a nice shiny tag. A tag is also tied to the programs that are created to try to start splitting up the human population for the different families to lay claim to. Humans are nothing more than energy source slaves to them. People idolize stars on television or in music that belong to a certain family, and are unknowingly giving their energy away to these groups. A tag allows the groups to claim their harvest and is very much run like a mafia operation. Those who choose money, power, and greed are aligning with a certain group that has no compassion or empathy for the starving people on the planet. A person is usually tagged if they choose to place their energy in a spiritual or even New Age ideology in which they begin to follow a guru or a certain ideology. Giving your energy away is actually another part of the trap used to siphon energy off a human. There are too many traps to describe in this article, but I'm sure you can see many of them if you just look around. Besides trying to claim us for various groups, multiple tags can be inserted that have different meanings. For example, a whistleblower may get a tag that alerts the Illuminati to direct government or police to try to arrest them, or worse, under the new Terrorist Act laws. Also, a person may be tagged because they live with a whistleblower and can be triggered in order to be used to turn against that person, which causes havoc and pain in their lives. There are addiction tags as well that allow a person's aura to be compromised. Drugs, sex, alcohol, food, and porn are everywhere for a reason. These tags keep them coming back for a substance or feeling that is usually aimed to eventually lead to self-destruction. In order for you to be tagged, you would have to have put your energy into something, which is consent. Sometimes that is done without our knowledge through our language. The English language was set up for this purpose, although ultimately all languages are used for black magic spelling. Anyone praying to a religious god of the Bible is giving their energy away to the Archon god family. Whether you call it Lucifer, Anu, Anunnaki, Draco, Grey, or Reptilian, they are all a part of the same family that requires energy to survive. This type of tag also allows for a person to be hypnotized deeper and deeper into this belief system. Another astral tag that they can put on you is in a spiritual initiation where you are convinced that you are receiving a higher level of learning or healing powers. While the person may receive these things as an exchange for allowing to be tagged, again, it is most likely the astral realm that they are dealing with. The more initiations and following, the more tags a person can receive. As soon as a tag is placed, that group that tagged the person gets to start feeding off of the energy. You can bet that they will want to tag you in order to not only get source energy from you, but also to send programming to you that will give them a chance to keep you from exiting from their matrix prison that they have kept us in. Source has allowed free will in this universe, so if you are freely giving your energy away, they are allowed to take it. If they can trick you into a heaven or a new earth in the astral realm matrix, they will lure you there as well and provide a body for you to eventually reincarnate into. You can begin to see how everything you need is already inside of you makes more and more sense. Thus, if you were to go within, you would not be giving your energy away. If you had been told of astral tags and implants without the understanding that you have now of the matrix, you may have not understood it or outright rejected the information in fear that you had been affected yourself without understanding why. Although all of this seems rather horrendous, it really is just a part of the Matrix program, and we are changing things by the millisecond here on the planet. It is not my intention to freak you out if this is the first time you have read about this. If you feel that this article is fear-mongering, I assure you that it was not written to do that. There is no fear in the truth. Most of humanity has an infection and we are healing ourselves and the planet in one way or another in order to shake it off. Mind control is the name of the game. There is information on the internet about MKUltra, Monarch, and other forms of mind control used by the government in order to trigger people into doing and saying things. One of the places the indoctrination begins is in the military. Some say that the mandatory vaccine received in the military has things in it that go above and beyond the general public's programming and can be triggered with various technologies. The Archons control the government who controls the people. The government uses people to peer into the future timeline possibilities to try to gain intel on who will be a troublemaker in the Archon's plans. Then they time travel in order to try to make that person choose a different outcome in their lives, as well as implant or tag them. Then mind control techniques are used mostly to try to keep their vibration low or to cause dissent with people around them. Andrew Basiago is one person that has come forward with his story about this topic about Project Pegasus. Here is a video with a brief introduction to this topic, but there is much more on his website as well. Again, take what you need and leave the rest. There is much to be learned from personal experience, although just like with anyone, most of the time, we do not have a clue what is real and what is a part of the matrix. How to dissolve implants and tags. Awareness is the first step in healing yourself of these energies. After all, we are living in a light illusion matrix hologram where everything is made up of energy. Continue to observe, and when you feel a trigger on you, or if you observe it in someone else, stop, drop, and ground. Yes, I just made that up. Although this is not a laughing matter for most people, especially those who are being targeted, the two things that have worked for me in moving out of the matrix are love and humor. When you see the circus unfold in front of you, sometimes the only thing that keeps you sane is laughing at it. Of course, you have to use your discernment with each situation. You wouldn't want to laugh hysterically in a courtroom and then be taken in handcuffs to the psychiatric ward. Implants can be purposefully neutralized by being grounded and connecting with the planet, for her energies balance out both sides of the brain and strengthen the right side functions to allow for more access to intuition and source energy.